Hey everybody, welcome back to Sophisticakes by Mary. For this video, I am going to show you how I made this autumn tree bark cake. Everything on this cake is edible besides the flowers, they are silk. So if this sounds like something that you want to see, please stick around and we'll get to it right after the intro. For this video, I started with pre-filled and crumb-coated cakes. I'm just using my standard American buttercream recipe, and I will link that down below in the description box, and I will try to remember to put a card in the video to get you directly to the tutorial on how I make that buttercream. I have a lot of requests for that. So the crumb coat is just meant to lock in the crumbs, and that's what I had already done. And chilled it for about 20 minutes in the refrigerator before I went in and applied my coat of buttercream on top of that. Now this is just the first coat of buttercream besides the crumb coat. So it's gonna go back in the fridge and firm up for another 20 minutes before I go back in and do a final coat. I like to do my buttercream in two stages instead of one. I find that I have a little more control over the finish of the buttercream. I get sharper corners and more levelness. Now I'm going to do the same for the top tier. This is a 6-inch tier. The bottom tier is an 8-inch. Now this part I think is really cool. I actually used real leaves from our yard to make chocolate leaves to decorate the cake with. Now I just went and I tried to find the most sturdy leaves that I could find. The thicker ones, I actually found that sometimes your thicker ones are going to be on your plants and not necessarily your trees, which is fine because once you have them made with chocolate, nobody knows the difference. So I just used some semi-sweet chocolate and I melted it in the microwave for 30 seconds at 50% power and mix until it is a good consistency. I did add a little bit of vegetable oil to thin it out and make it a little bit more pliable also. And I need to make sure that you realize that you do need to wash these leaves before you put anything edible on them. Wash them really good. Rinse them, and then leave them to dry because chocolate does not mix with water. So they need to be completely dry before you apply the chocolate. Now I put them in the freezer to set up for about 10 minutes. It doesn't take long. And then I went back in and I'm brushing on some more chocolate onto them. Just because it's a little easier to remove the leaves from the chocolate if they're a little on the thicker side. Not thick, but just not as thin as an actual leaf. And once you've brushed this on, don't worry so much about how it looks on the back because you're not going to see that. Put them back into either the freezer for 10 minutes or the refrigerator for actually either one for about 5 to 10 minutes. It does not take long. And this is what they look like once the leaves have been pulled off. Now here I'm showing you how I do that. I use my X-Acto knife to help me remove some extra chocolate that might get in the way and to make sure that you remove all those pieces of leaf. This can take some time to make sure that you get rid of all the leaves and to smooth out those edges, but just take your time and they come out really pretty. They look really realistic. Well worth the time, I feel. And once you've removed the leaves, and while you're waiting for the time to put them on the cake, put them back in the fridge so they retain their shape. Now this is what I'm using. I'm using just some some brown tinted fondant and this bark silicone impression mold. This makes the job so much easier. I will also attach a link in the description on where to find this mold, given that I can find it again, but I think I have seen it recently, so I will look for that and attach that. So I'm rolling this out to about 1/4 of an inch thick. You don't want to go overly thin with it because once you press that impression mat on it, you don't want it to go completely through. And I just use my hands, the pressure of my hands to impress that pattern. I find if I use a roller, I end up pushing too hard. But make sure that you put cornstarch on your fondant so that your mat won't stick. You can also brush the mat. Sometimes I do both. In fact, I do go in and do that at some point. I think it's right here, yep. Just making sure it started getting a little sticky. And I try to make sure that I'm overlapping those lines a little bit and not press down so hard on the edge of the silicone mat because that can leave a mark. I'm just cutting off the extra off the bottom and the top so I have a straight line because it's going to be sitting on top of the cake board and at the bottom of the top tier. So it needs to be level and straight. And I'm just going and cutting uneven arch shapes, one a little bit bigger than the other, because one's going to go on the 8-inch and one's going to go on the 6-inch. And there I'm just making sure that the bottom is still straight. And I'm using my Dresden tool to just kind of go in and redefine and make a few more rough edges so it looks a little bit more realistic. And just set this aside, let it firm up a little bit. It's a little easier to handle once it has sat out for a little bit. And in the meantime, go ahead and stack your 2 tiers. I'm using the big fat boba straws as my supports. You could use wood dowels if you prefer. I just find I like these straws. I trust them a little bit more, just a personal preference, because I feel like they have a broader base to them. So I just feel like they're a little bit more sturdy. And then just put your shears at the point where the buttercream meets the straw and pull it up and cut it off at that point. That way you know that it's going to be flush with your top. Push them back in, add a little buttercream so that your top tier will have something to stick to. And since that top tier had been in the freezer for 10 minutes, I was able to handle it with my hands and just place it on there. That way you're not messing with soft buttercream. Don't do that if you can help it. Don't do that. And then I went in and I call it caulking, where the 2 tiers meet, just to make sure that there was no gap. And when it comes to placing this fondant on there, you just kind of have to go for it. Just pick it up and go for it. You could use my technique that I like to use with the sheets, what do you call them? The acetate sheets if you'd like to, but I didn't want to flatten the pattern. So I just kind of balls to the wall, just picked it up and placed it on there. And then I just went in with some brown mixed with a tiny dot of black food coloring with some Everclear to make an edible paint. And I'm just brushing over the entire surface with a fluffy brush because what I really want it to do is set in the cracks so that you have some definition. Again, making it a little bit more realistic looking. And then after I get that brushed on, I go in with a paper towel that I have a little Everclear on and brush off the excess off the top. But I did want them darker. I wanted the bark a little darker than what it came out in just the fondant. So I didn't brush it all or wipe it all off. I left some on the surface too, but I wanted to have it settled in those crevices more. And now an extra little touch. I wanted it to have kind of that ashy whitish tinge to it also. So this is just white food coloring with Everclear. Same thing that you did with the dark brown. Just dab it on, maybe not all over the place. Dab it on and then dab it back off with your paper towel with a little bit of Everclear on it. You could also use vodka. That would work just fine too, or lemon extract. And then do the top. Same for your top tier. It's a little harder to get in on the bottom of the top tier because it's already put together when you're doing this. Just be a little bit more careful. Now for the finishing touches, I'm just adding those silk flowers. I wanted it to have a little bit of height on the top. You know me, I like my toppers. I like there to be some height and some visual interest on the top. So I use these willowy and berry-esque silk artificial flowers to achieve that. You can use fresh flowers. You could even do sugar flowers. Honestly, I prefer the sugar or the fresh, but time does not allow for that when it comes to my videos, unfortunately. I do these on my days off, and I would like to have a little off time besides that also. So that would take a whole lot more time. So I stick with the artificial, and I think it looks fine with them. And I can reuse them. Now to get them in to the buttercream, some of these stems were a little soft or not real rigid. So I just used a skewer to poke a hole in the cake first. And if this was going to be for an order, I would probably wrap the stems of the artificial flowers also. I mean, it's not, nobody's going to eat them, but it doesn't hurt to make it just more food safe. And here I'm just adding those chocolate leaves in the little clusters of flowers, just for a little added extra interest. I really think that finished it off. I'm just attaching them with a little buttercream. And you're going to find that the condensation of the cake from coming out of the freezer or the fridge is going to help you get your details to attach, like the fondant bark parts. I didn't add anything. There was already condensation on the cake, so it stuck just fine. You could also spray it with water if you need to. And there she is, all done. Another female cake. I don't know why I call them all she's. Whatever. I hope you like what you saw, and I hope you learned something from this. And if you did, please like, subscribe, share, comment, do all the things, and hit the notification bell so that you know every time I upload. And I appreciate you watching. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you next time. Bye.